What's up, Summit Squad? It's Andy here with a Rushmore Revisited. Now, one of the cool things about Rushmore Show is that our lists are personal, right? So it's not always the top four that the critics would say. It's our own personal top four in whatever topic it is that we're talking about. But one of the tricky things is over time, opinions can change, right? You know, based on if you do a little more research, or you get you just grow older and wiser, that your picks can change over time. So one of the things we thought would be really cool to do is to do an occasional Rushmore Revisited, where we go back and we look at our old picks for our top four, and we talk about how maybe our opinions have changed over time. And today, I want to bring you my very own Rushmore Revisited of N64 games. Now, this original episode, this aired in June of the year 2022, so we're almost 2 years later now in 2024, and my opinions have changed a little bit. Just to give you a real quick recap, this was my top four N64 games back in June of 2022. My Rosie was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, great game. Then I moved on to my TJ Jazzy Jeff was Banjo-Tooie, super fun, super whimsical, great game. My Link was GoldenEye 007, what a classic banger. And then my George was Mario Kart 64. So at the time, this was a great list. I totally was on board with this. But what has happened since June of 2022 is I've started collecting the N64 and kind of reliving some of those old memories. And what I've found out is that my list has changed quite drastically. So without further ado, let me present to you my brand new Rushmore Revisited of N64 games. Let's get it. Coming in at my Rosie, my number 4. This one wasn't even on the radar at the time, but I've since purchased this game and been able to play it and relive a ton of nostalgic memories. My Rosie, my number 4 is, and you'll have to pardon the damage to the sticker on this cartridge, but I'm going with Yoshi's Story. Man, Yoshi's Story is such a fun game. First of all, let me say this. Yoshi is probably an underrated character when it comes to video games, especially the Mario universe. But this game, man, the graphics, the gameplay, super fun, super whimsical. Can I just be real? It's just a cute game, man. It's just fun. Like, it's visually appealing. I'll say this. The game is also difficult enough to not be overly easy and kind of boring, but also not too difficult to where really anybody can pick this game up and kind of figure this out. It's a great concept of a game. The soundtrack is amazing. You get Yoshi singing the songs, and it's just welcoming, warm, whimsical, fun. My new Rosie and my Rushmore Revisited is Yoshi's Story. Coming in my TJ Jazzy Jeff spot, I am going to have to, this is actually the only game that has stuck on both lists, although it has bumped down some, it's still in the top 4. And I'm going to keep Mario Kart 64 on my list. Man, this is a classic. This is the game that you have to get when you get the N64, when you play this. Tons of fun with family. Multiplayer is super fun. The tracks are great. Again, the soundtrack's amazing. You get those classic characters. You get Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser. You get everybody, Peach, Toad, Yoshi. Everybody that you want to race with is just a ton of fun. It's another game that is not overly difficult. I mean, it's a racing game, right? I mean, we all get the concept of it, but with the added features of the multiplayer and popping everybody's balloons and all of that fun, tons and tons, hours of fun. You can play this. I play this with my kids right now. They like it. One of the most iconic soundtracks. And Mario's got iconic soundtracks in every single game that they put out, and this is no exception to that. So again, staying on my list, Mario Kart 64. You can't go wrong with this game. Tons and tons and tons of fun playing Mario Kart 64. All right, so like I said, you know, everything here from here on out actually wasn't even on my list last time, although they are fantastic games. And let me just say this too, you know, halfway through this mountain, the games that I put on my previous list, I still play them, I still enjoy them, right? However, I was very high on this game last time, and this is not on my list now, but just to show you, GoldenEye 007 was my my second favorite game on here. What I've come to find out, it's been a big bummer. This game does not hold up today. I'll say the music is still fantastic. It's still playable, but in the world of first-person shooters, this game is very choppy and very slow movements. It's just doesn't hold up today. So for that reason, I got to kick it off my list, and I'm going to replace it. I took Banjo-Tooie off my list too, but I'm replacing it with a very similar game. But actually, after purchasing it again, I found out that I kind of like this game a little bit better. It's got one of my favorite characters of all time, and my new link for my Rushmore Revisit is Donkey Kong 64. You get the DK wrap. I mean, it's a rare game, rareware, so it's very much kind of along the lines of that Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, kind of that semi-open world concept, but you're using all your DK characters. Just a ton of fun. The soundtrack again is great. I'm saying that in all of these, but a super fun game, challenging. You've got different kind of quests that you can take, and then you got the bonus feature of all of these different playable characters that you get to play as. You know, you start off as DK, but then you add in all of these other ones, and everything that you love about Donkey Kong. If you were a Donkey Kong fan in the classic Donkey Kong Country and all of those games, you've got that. Plus now it's kind of that 3D concept. If you haven't played this, I highly suggest definitely play Donkey Kong 64, and that is my link in my Rushmore Revisited. All right, last but certainly not least, actually last but most in my Rushmore Revisited is my new George, and it is by far my favorite game. Again, I had Mario Kart as my George before, still on my list, but this is the game that currently I can't put down. I can't stop playing this game. It's so good. It's honestly, as a kid, I probably slept on this game more than I should have, but now playing it again, having this, I don't think that many people are going to question the pick. With my new George, we're going to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This game is beautiful. So the artwork, the graphics, everything is just so great. The music that's played throughout, the fact that the music is central to the game through the ocarina and kind of the powers that has. The story is fantastic. The fact that we have kind of all these side quests and things that you can do throughout it. The open world, again, feel here is super fun. Combat is good. It's challenging, but it's challenging and it doesn't make you want to quit. It makes you want to continue pressing forward. So super fun, super great game. There's a reason that the whole Zelda franchise has lasted as long as it has and has stood the test of time. It's one of the staples in the video game world. And like I said, many people are not going to disagree with this. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is a fantastic game, super fun, super enjoyable, replayable today, and I think that's a big thing. You know, I talked about GoldenEye got kicked off because it just doesn't hold up today. This game holds its own today. It's still replayable. It's still tons and tons of fun. You're going to put a lot of time into this. I put in little increments of time here and there, so I'm going to be playing this for a while. But my new George and my Rushmore Revisited is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Well, there's my new top 4. Let me know in the comments, hey, do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some ones that I kicked off or that should have stayed on? What are ones that I didn't even bring on for either of them? And this thing could change over time too. That's the beauty of the Rushmore. So, last thing, hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't hit the notification bell, make sure you do that. Also, let us know, what is a Rushmore that we have done already that you would like for us, either me or Kirk, to go revisit our picks? We would love to do it. It's tons of fun to kind of rethink these things and revisit them. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and go out and get you an N64 if you haven't done it yet and play these games, relive the nostalgia. That's my top 4, and now 2 years later, 4 more. Anyway, peace out.